All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. This is boys, we got week 1 almost done, almost in the books. One more game. And this is going to be our Reaction Monday show. Slash waiver wire show. Slash whatever we want to really talk about show. So a lot happened yesterday. There was a lot of injuries, there were a lot of surprises, a lot of things that we didn't see coming. Mike, what was your biggest takeaway from yesterday's games?
Well, I'm just glad that the second half of games had some points, because that first slate, man, that was ugly. It was all just like rainy, dirty football with low scoring games. Not great for fantasy when we're sitting here talking about fantasy. There's a lot of duds to talk about today. A lot of panic button, are we pressing them type of guys. So I'm excited to talk about it. But man, those 4:00 games, that Chargers Dolphins game, that really put a nice light on week 1 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I don't have the NFL ticket like some of you guys, but that looked like a fun game to watch for the people who did. That the Bengals game, I mean, what the hell was that? That was, Burrow looked terrible. Chase didn't look engaged at all. Higgins goose egg. It was the Browns D, I think, is better than maybe we thought, but they did not look prepared in the least.
That's a throwaway. Just take that game if you have any Cincinnati Bengals and just delete it from your memory, because
you have
an anomaly. Yeah, I mean, even if it's not an anomaly, right? You got to pray it is, because those Bengals all went high, right? Both, like the big four, are all very high picks. So hope for the best and just throw that game away.
Yeah, you're not, after that type of performance, you're not taking, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, who just had the worst games of their career, and trying to trade them. Like, no, you're waiting it out. They're gonna have better weeks. Just stay calm and they'll pick up.
They started slow last year too. First 4 games. What they 2-2, 1-3, something like that last year to start the year. Burrow had a week before the season started when he started practicing again, I think. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the coach said he regretted that, right?
I thought he said something like that he regretted that he didn't play more starters in the preseason. And I think with only 3 games now in the preseason, these guys got to adjust to that a little bit, because that was ugly for a lot of those games yesterday. The defenses kind of smacked the offenses around, and that should not be the case with the way the rules are nowadays. Mike, you have it Doug, in the back there. I see.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring it up.
Yeah, on your screen. Why don't we talk about it? Why don't we talk about what happened?
Well,
with the Eagles.
If you want to have a little therapy session, go ahead, Doug. I'll be your therapist. Just vent to me. Tell me your feelings.
No, I'm okay. I'm actually not too bad. I thought they were going to smack around a little more than they did. I'm not a moral victory guy. I think Mac had plenty of opportunities in the end there to win that. There was another guy that was at the field yesterday that probably would have gotten that done. But Mac sure is not that guy.
Yeah. What do you have? Two chances inside of 2 minutes to win that game? That's all you can really think about is, the guy that's in the stadium they're talking about, obviously Tom Brady. That's his time to shine. And you got him watching. I don't know. He felt the pressure.
Yeah, I think Mac looked good overall. I don't know if he's got that clutch gene in him. That's yet to be seen. Because overall, I think he looked pretty good. Overall, he probably looked better than Jalen Hurts yesterday, but Jalen Hurts didn't have to have that comeback victory,
I will say, if they didn't put themselves in that position, that negative game script to start, the Patriots defense looked great. Their O-line actually was protecting against one of the best front 7 in the league. And when there was one drive when Mac Jones went 80 yards down the field when he needed to and scored a touchdown in 5 plays. So they look good. I'll take the W no matter what, but if the Eagles are playing like that against, no offense, Doug, but better competition, they're losing that game 100% of the time.
I think there is better competition in your division that I think is going to give you guys some trouble this year. The Cowboys
That
looked
was ugly.
really good last night.
That
And
was
Yeah.
ugly.
Giants looked really bad. So again, week 1, you don't want to overreact too much. So are the Giants that bad or are the Cowboys that good? I don't know. It's probably land somewhere in the middle. But that Dallas defense was fast. That was a fast D.
Did you guys watch that game?
I watched
Yeah,
most of it.
I watched.
Yeah. Until it became trash.
Yeah, up to halftime. I actually was praying for a beating so I could go to bed early, and I got my wish. So
You sure
went to
did.
bed at half.
Yeah. The only thing I was keeping tabs on was Pollard and Saquon, for fantasy purposes. And Pollard had a good night. Saquon didn't look bad. It's just the Giants looked bad. So
I feel bad for any fantasy owner that went to bed early, up 20 points. So like, they only have Dallas defense left. I definitely got this W. Woke up in the morning and saw the terror that happened.
yeah, Dallas D won
was
some
beating.
people some leagues this week. Yeah. So I don't. Andy, is there any particular game or any particular player that really shocked
It was
you?
mostly. It wasn't a shock, but I was pretty disappointed in how the Lions used Jahmyr Gibbs, because every time he touched the rock, it seemed like he was, one tackle away, or, he was so close to breaking a play every single time he touched the rock, and then he just stopped touching it. I think he had like 9 touches or something for the day, so that was a little disappointing. But Campbell came out and said he's going to use him more. I don't know, some stupid comment about it was like a fucking test game or something. I don't know, but so
A hell of a
hopefully
test
he gets
game.
the rock a whole bunch more. Yeah, and I mean they got the win, so but he needs to be touching the ball more. I think that's pretty clear.
So Andy, we've talked about the Bears offense a lot here.
Yes,
what was your takeaway from the Bears yesterday?
Pretty much exactly what I expected. That was, I could have skipped that game completely, not seen a play, and still have watched every Bears play. That's just exactly what I envisioned. They're still the same team. Justin Fields is still the same guy. DJ Moore is going to get a couple that he breaks because he's a freak, but they're not going to be good offensively.
Yeah.
DJ Moore threw 37 times. I mean, not DJ Moore. Justin Fields threw 37 times. DJ Moore had 2 targets out of 35. And Justin Fields threw the ball further than 10 yards past the line of scrimmage once.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit more.
Early too. Like I think because I watched, I think I saw both of DJ Moore's targets in like the first quarter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know he only had 2 targets until Mike just said that, but I could have sworn I saw 2 targets early. So
he had 2 catches.
Not go back to him.
I don't know how many targets. Right. I know it was 2 catches.
That sounds better.
It was probably like 3 targets.
2 catches on 2 targets. No, yeah, that's it. 2 catches on 2 targets. That's
okay,
it.
So maybe you did.
That's bad.
Maybe you did.
That is bad.
Khalil Herbert, he didn't look too great. I don't know.
No, I think the Packers D's a little bit maybe underrated, a little slept on. I think they have a legitimate defense.
But
yeah,
not Dallas-esque, but still I think it's pretty good D against a not so good offense. So.
Well, I'll tell you what about Khalil Herbert. What I like to see is he had 3 catches yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't normally catch the ball much. He had 3 catches for 37 yards. You said, well, Fields thrown 37 times. That's probably a lot for Fields, but still.
Yeah, that's not going to, just like Roshan had 6 catches, I think. And that's only because they were negative game script like from the beginning of that game.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields can't throw the ball. So yeah, so they're just dumping off the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Roshan
wasn't the guy.
No, Roshan got more playing time than I anticipated coming into that game.
Week 1 for sure. I didn't see that. Did not see that coming. But all right, so I want to go over some injuries. I meant to do that earlier, but let's go over all the injuries that did happen yesterday. J.K. Dobbins torn Achilles, potential career ending. They're saying that guy, yeah, very, very, very bad.
It's just he's so talented, like when you even this game when he was playing, you could see it. Like he finally was like, "Oh, here he comes, he's back," and then his career is potentially over. Like even if he does come back, he's coming back from an ACL and an Achilles. He's not going to be anything worthy when it comes to fantasy.
Yeah, that's too bad. It definitely is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
See a young guy like that go down and probably never be the same again. Aaron Jones had a little hamstring injury. He said he could have been fine and went back in the game if he had to. Deontay Johnson, his hammy looked a little worse, his hamstring injury. He was laying on the field for a little bit. I did see that. I don't know if they have a timetable on that just yet, but it's probably going to be a week or two, I would think. Tyler Lockett is in concussion protocol. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry, you broke up there a little bit, Doug. But I was gonna say Deontay Johnson's hamstring injury looked a lot worse than like Aaron Jones did. Aaron Jones like kind of came up running, and you could tell he felt a little pull. But Deontay Johnson, he was down on the ground holding his hamstring. That one looked a little more serious. So I mean, there's no timeline, but it seems like he might be out a couple weeks.
Yeah, which is what I said, but you didn't hear it. So that's.
I was just thinking the same fucking thing.
How
do I hear it, but you don't, Mike?
Yeah, he didn't hear it.
I didn't hear a word Doug said.
But he said exactly what you just
said. What you just said. But that's
like almost word for word.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Okay. We're on the same page.
Okay.
On the same page. Greg Dulcich, hamstring injury as well. Them hammies, man. I don't know much on that. Do you, Mike?
I didn't hear the question. I got nothing, Doug.
Okay. Greg Dulcich, his hamstring injury. I don't know how serious that one was. I don't know if you knew. Anthony Richardson, he had a bruised right knee. He'll be fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say Dulcich, he came up running again. It wasn't like he was on the ground or anything, but there's no real timeline. We'll have to see with the practice for him too.
Okay. Evan Hall could miss some time. I don't think that's a huge deal. James, for fantasy purposes, that is. James Bradbury could miss Thursday night game versus Minnesota. That could be a deal. The way Kirk Cousins was flinging the ball around. And
yeah,
Cam
it certainly
Hayward
helps KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison on the other side.
Yeah. Yep. And they'll probably try to work Jefferson around Slay as much as they can anyways. So, and then Cam Hayward, he'll miss multiple weeks, likely to go on the IR. Steelers defensive end. So, the Steelers looked pretty bad yesterday, so they can't be losing talented players like that. Another big news, Chris Jones. Go ahead.
So I had more expectations for that Steelers defense.
And the offense, honestly.
Fucking trounced. No, I once again wasn't expecting much. Obviously, I've said that 1,000 times. But yeah, defensively, I expected more. No.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect much on Najee is what we all expected. But they looked a lot better in the preseason. But they were one of the teams that started their starters. All the other teams didn't. So, which is probably why they looked a little better. So that's it. That's it pretty much with all the injuries. So hopefully we don't have too many next week, but let's jump onto the panic button. Let's see if there's any players that we're already panicking on that we want to try to dump off to someone else, or if we're looking to try to take those players away from people who are panicking. The first one I want to talk about is Drake London. He had 0 catches on 1 target. Ritter just threw 18 passes for 115 yards. That is a running team through and through with both those running backs. This is one player where I try not to overreact too much after week 1. I'm overreacting a little bit maybe with Drake London. That's scary. That's a scary stat line. He played 90% of the snaps and didn't catch a pass. That's where you guys at with that?
Yeah, for me, I mean, they played the Panthers, so it was Bryce Young's first game. They probably, I mean, DJ Shark was missing. They didn't really have receivers. So the game plan going in, I think, was to ease Ritter in because he's still early in his career. So to ease that offense in, what do you do? I mean, it's Arthur Smith. You're going to run the ball. The problem with what happened is that it worked. It worked well. Yeah. I mean, you give Arthur Smith a running team and he's winning games. He's not going to stop doing that.
No, not with those 2 running backs. Why would you? you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right. Well, Andy, I know you didn't really have him too high on your big board to begin with, so
Yeah.
you're smarter than the rest of us, so you're not as
Thank you.
surprised
Thank you.
about
Thank you.
this.
Yeah, my big board actually looked pretty good in week one. Too bad I didn't get any of my guys. Yeah, week one, I'm generally not pressing the panic button on anybody though. I'm hoping other people do, so I can maybe maneuver around and buy low, but I'm not. I'm not pressing the panic button on anybody. Uh, and yeah, I had my doubts about this passing game as well. Look kind of smart, but once again, it's only week one.
So, Andy, I have Drake London in one of my leagues.
Mhm.
What should I do with him?
I would keep him exactly where he is, Doug. I wouldn't move him yet,
I want
unless
to
you can
bench
get.
his ass. That's what I want to do. I
Well,
want to,
yeah.
I want to let him sit. I want to let him think about what he just did.
Put him in timeout.
Put him in timeout.
You put him
Hey,
in timeout.
Yeah.
Doug, when we talk about the waiver pickups later on in the show, and we're at wide receiver, I think people like Drake London, DJ Moore, those are good names to bring up. Like, would you pick these guys up and obviously not drop them, but start them over Drake London and DJ Moore?
Yeah. No, that's true.
No.
I'll let you do that, Mike. All right.
Thanks. Thanks, Doug.
All right. Next guy I want to talk about T. Higgins. We talked about that Bengals offense already a little bit. He had 0 catches. He had 8 targets, though. So,
Yeah, that's. I don't
mean,
know if that's like more impressive. I don't
yeah,
really have
exactly.
8
There's
targets.
something
Is just.
it's not a good percentage rate. That's for damn sure. But I'm not panicking on Higgins just yet because, again, like we said, I think the Bengals are going to get better. And the fact that he had 8 targets, you'll take that from your wide receiver every single week because he's not going to go over every single week. And probably most of the time he'll get 5 or 6 catches out of that. So you guys have anything to say about that?
Fully
Yeah,
on
I
board with
think
what you just said.
and this week, I mean, we all knew that Joe Burrow obviously was coming back from the calf injury and he was going to be limited and he's not going to be able to be himself as far as rolling out. And the Browns defense took advantage of that. They just full on blitzed the pocket, kept him in there. He couldn't roll out. It's a rainy game. I just think the circumstances for week one, they weren't in the Bengals' favor to begin with Joe Burrow's injury in the rain. And T. Higgins just happened to be the person that, well, I mean, the whole offense
Yeah, they all suffered.
was hurting because of that. Yeah, they
We
all
got
suffered because of that. But
we got a couple good comments out of Jamar Chase though, so that the Elves comments made me laugh.
I didn't hear. What is it? Do you
He was
know?
talking some
He
smack.
said he called the Browns. I don't know. I think a reporter asked him if he was like worried. He's like, "No, I'm not worried about the Browns. They're a bunch of little elves over there, or something like that." And then after they lost, he was like, "Yeah, man, it pisses me off because I just lost to a bunch of little elves." Yeah, it's just pretty good.
Well, that's good as long as he still has his confidence.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that ever going anywhere.
No. Joe Burrow. Let's bring him up as well. He did have a bad game. We've talked about it a lot. What I want to know is, are you sitting him next week if you have him as a starter?
I mean, it depends on who your QB2 is, right? Like,
It does.
If you draft Burrow, you're generally not coming back and drafting another good quarterback, right? So now you're probably sitting on, I don't know, that Jordan Love kind of area of the draft.
Well, that's
So,
incorrect, Andy.
Probably not.
Because we did have a guy in my league.
No, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it.
Is that a better start? Is Lamar Jackson a better start right now than Joe Burrow? Like, they both played terribly.
His text yesterday fucking floored me because I had completely forgotten about this.
Yeah.
And he said my 2 quarterbacks didn't combine for 10.
Love it.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah, so I think I tend to agree with you guys. I don't think you're going to really have much other options unless you want to go for one of those waiver quarterbacks and give it a week or 2. But I'll let Mike talk about that during the waivers. Daniel Jones. Yikes. Where are we on him? He had 104 yards with 2 picks, 43 yards rushing. Mike, what are you doing with Daniel Jones right now?
I mean, you're 100% benching him. you kind of, I mean, granted, they played the Cowboys defense and they looked really good, but I don't care how good a defense looks. They put up 0 points. Daniel Jones was every throw he made was just disgusting. Just pick sixes, getting that offensive line couldn't block for him. Like their offense was a disaster. So until they prove it to me, I'm sitting Daniel Jones, and even with the rushing upside, I don't think he had what. Does anybody know what he had for points for week 1?
I don't know exactly what he had for points, but say 4.3 on rush yards, 2 picks. You take that away, he probably had about a little over 4 points.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Okay.
But I'm benching Daniel Jones. If you don't have another quarterback, which if you have Daniel Jones as a quarterback, you probably have somebody else. Hopefully somebody like Anthony Richardson or Tua or somebody in that range, and you're good no matter what. But if not, I would start like a Jordan Love over him.
Yeah, you shouldn't have gone all in on Daniel Jones, I wouldn't think. But
Right.
you know, you never know with people. Where you at on him, Andy?
I mean, the needle hasn't moved here either.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
not. You don't draft him. You don't draft him because you think he's going to go out and throw for 350 every game, right? You draft him because he's going to break the pocket. He's going to scramble. He's going to get you running yards. And generally, at least last year, he held on to the ball. So you're not going to get the negative plays. The pick six that I saw was not his fault, right? Put it right on Saquon. Saquon got popped. He gets snatched out of the air. But, I mean, their offensive line got beat to shit. It was rainy. It's not great conditions. The game was over basically before it started. So I was never, I'm not a big Daniel Jones guy, but I don't really see how this moves the needle too much.
I don't
But
think
as
it
Mike
does
said,
for
right?
me.
If you drafted, if you drafted him, you're in that other area, like he said. So yeah, it's matchup related. You know that
Probably
when you pick those.
Yeah, probably. And I'm probably not sitting him next week because they got the Cardinals next week, so that could be a good bounce back game for them.
Right.
And depending
Who
on what
actually
you have.
we disrespected. We owe some apologies around here. All right, we owe apologies to the Cardinals and to the Colts offense because we were pretty harsh.
Yeah.
To both of them and Anthony Richardson.
But granted, the Cardinals' offense didn't look good.
Well, we shit on their whole entire roster.
We did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
All right, next guy, Cam Akers. He had a bizarre stat line, man. I can't remember last time I saw something like this. 22 carries for 29 yards. I mean, I think we might have been able to do that. He did have the touchdown.
I could do that.
Yeah, he did have the touchdown, which kind of salvaged it some for his fantasy owners. I'm one of them. But yeah, how worried are you guys on him? Andy, you worried?
I'm not. We know
I feel the
McVay
theme here.
doesn't love him. We know McVay doesn't love him. No,
Yeah.
But the 22 carries to me was actually was pretty positive. Kyren Williams, however you say his name, he got a pretty good amount of carries. But he didn't really look like too special either, right? So it's looking like maybe a little bit more of a committee than anticipated coming in, but it's still Cam's job. And McVay hugged him after the touchdown, so fences are being mended.
There's some love. There's some love there.
You know what I'm worried about is, I mean, first of all, we didn't expect this to be a split backfield to begin with, but
no.
Cam Akers didn't get one target.
Yeah, I didn't like seeing that when there's no cup out there.
And I'm pretty sure I don't Kyren Williams got what, like over 10, I think, on targets, right? He was catching balls left and right. So I mean, that's kind of scary if they're splitting the carries and Williams looks better running the ball and then he's also getting the targets. I don't know. That's a recipe for disaster.
He had 2 targets, Mike.
2?
2. Dose.
Okay.
That's almost 10.
Yeah. All right. Well, glad you called me out on that. Giving wrong information to people. I could have sworn that he was checking it down, but maybe I just was watching a different game.
Just Stafford throwing it off his lineman's back because
there you go.
That's what happens when you have
but
3
still,
TVs
I know
set up.
Cam Akers. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, Cam Akers had 0 targets, and that's the main part. Is he's supposed to catch the ball out of the backfield, and if he's not getting that part of it, and he's rushing the ball 22 times for 29 yards, you can't depend on a player like that.
That's such an unbelievable stat line.
Unbelievable stat line.
22 for 29.
It's
Holy shit.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened because I didn't watch the game. So I don't know if it was like all inside the 5-yard line he was running, but I don't think it was because Karen Williams had 2 touchdowns. So I don't know how it happened. But
Yeah.
I'm personally probably not gonna panic too much either on him because of the fact that I don't think that Williams has the frame to be the stud back there, and the fact that he had 22 carries. I mean, he still had a huge workload. So it's more about the workload for me with most players. And I think Akers is more talented than what he showed with that. All right, next guy, one of Mike's boys, DeAndre Swift. He had 1 carry for 3 yards and 1 catch for 0 yards. I don't think any of us really saw this coming. I thought, if anything, it was going to be close to a 50-50 split with him and Gainwell. Right before the game started, or right when the game started, whatever, like, we heard that Penny was a healthy scratch. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, Swift is going to get a decent amount of work here. Not the case. Mike, you're the Eagles guy. What happened?
I mean, I thought Kenneth Gainwell was the guy coming into this game, no matter what, even before anything. That's why, I mean, I said that DeAndre Swift shouldn't be started this week because I just didn't think he was going to be the guy. That doesn't mean I don't think he's going to get more as the season goes on, but the way Kenneth Gainwell played, I mean, he didn't do anything spectacular, but he was playing against a great D-line, again, in rainy conditions in New England, and he still averaged 4 yards a carry. And more importantly than anything, he didn't make any mistakes. And when you have Jalen Hurts in that offense, I think that's more important than anything, is just go out there and don't make mistakes. So I would be a little worried about Swift because Gainwell played his role pretty well.
Yeah. Andy, is this
Mike,
one guy that you're panicking on at all, or no?
We'll go back to that. Mike, are you
right.
starting Gainwell? If you had the option right now, would you play any of the running backs in Philly as a flex? Matchup dependent, I know, but are these legitimate? Is anybody a legitimate flex option right now?
Yeah, I think so. Look, in one league, I have Gainwell on the bench and I have Rashard White. And I think I'd rather go Gainwell this week over White because White looked pretty terrible, and Tucker was taking away some of that role to begin with already. So I think on a high-powered offense that's going to be better than they were that week, I'll take the Gainwell role with the potential touchdown because they're going to be in the red zone a lot. I'll take that over somebody like Rashard White. Yeah.
Do you think he keeps this job? Do you think this is his job for the year, or is it just Sirianni trying to make a point?
No, I don't think it's his job like this for the year unless he comes out and just proves and earns it. But if he does exactly what he did this week, which was he played good enough, then he'll continue to get carries and Swift will be worked in more and more. But if he comes out and he gives, solid performances, then it's his role to lose right now.
I think, did I see Boston Scott out carried fucking Swift too?
Yeah, well, I think they both had 1 carry.
I was gonna say we almost outcarried him. So yeah.
Yeah, I think DeAndre Swift is very talented. I've been over this, but I'm avoiding that whole entire backfield. I have Rashad Penny. I got him late in one draft. I don't think I have any Swift shares, but from right now, they're just staying on my bench until, if Penny's another healthy and active, I'm going to get, 30, 35 cents on the dollar. I'm getting him right the hell out. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm with Mike with Gainwell when I would probably throw him in a flex depending on what my league looks like or what my team looks like. I mean, because if he is the guy, which he seemed like to be the guy, again, that's a workload thing. So for a flex play, I don't think that's a terrible thing to have. All right, let's go to Well, we already talked about him a little bit, but let's dive a little deeper into it if we can with DJ Moore. Again, he had 2 catches for 25 yards, and it was on 2 targets. I did have that in my notes. Are you holding on to this guy? Are we trading him? What are we doing? Mike?
I mean, I don't have him in any leagues, and he's not a trade target for. He's not a buy low type of guy for me. Like I see better weeks coming, but he's going to be so inconsistent that he's not somebody I want on my team. If you're the owner of DJ Moore, your only thing you can do is wait for him to have that game where he breaks one for 60 yards for a touchdown and then go out and sell him high. That's the only thing you can do right now.
Yeah. And do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I have zero shares of DJ Moore. That's intentional. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You just got to avoid that passing game, man. You have to. Justin Fields he can't throw a ball. He can't do it. He can't read a defense, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's both. He's very fast.
We know that. We know that much. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
you can't.
I have a lot of shares of DJ Moore. Possibly, unfortunately. I think I have.
Oh, so you were asking for yourself, not for the people.
No. Yeah, I've been asking questions for myself to see what you guys think. Yeah, I think I have him in like 3 or 4 of my 6 leagues I'm in. So I was hopeful that he was going to kind of be a Stephon Diggs light. I think I've said that before, that maybe he was going to bring that out of Justin Fields a little bit, but don't see it yet. I think you're right, Mike. I think he's going to be a big boomer bust guy. Most of my leagues, I kind of drafted him later, so he's going to be like my flex or whatever. So I don't hate that in a flex, but
let me ask you guys a question. Out of the people that we named or somebody else that we missed that had a dud week, who are you going and targeting right now to see if the owner is panicking?
Oh, man.
I mean, I think it's still Cup, right? I think Cup is still the guy.
T. Higgins, right? I mean, if somebody's, I don't know, I just feel like anybody that's got even half their wits about them, if they draft somebody in the 2nd round, like they're not just going to be like, oh, fuck, 1 week, I got to get rid of this guy. But I mean, there's a lot of morons out there. So yeah, probably T. Higgins.
Yeah, you're right. T. Higgins, I think you should go for hard, honestly. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of trades that Mike tries to make with T. Higgins this coming week.
Were you worried about Bateman's snap count? His
I was so happy in the beginning of the game because I saw him catch like a 15-yard pass. I was like, here we fucking go. And then he got 3 targets. And I was like, oh, it's already Zay Flowers. The good news is OBJ looks as washed as I thought he was going to be. That dude's done. So Bateman will be looks like the number 3 on this team when Mark Andrews comes back, which isn't where I wanted him, but it's serviceable, I suppose.
So I have Bateman on here. He was one of the guys I was going to discuss. Mike actually gave him to me, so I don't know why he brought him up.
Well, and if you're going off of my list that I gave you, you skipped right over him. So I thought you were just going by it. So that's why I brought it up.
No, I was thinking about not putting him because, but yeah, he had 38% of snaps, 3 catches for 35 yards. I actually didn't think that was terrible. If you're only out there 38% of the time, having 3 catches is not that bad. So he was, I think.
Do we know how many completions Lamar had? He didn't
don't know that off the top of my head.
Like 120 yards.
We'll let Mike look that up.
But I got it right here.
I don't know if he had more than OBJ, but I know OBJ didn't do much. And if he was out there like 90% of the time. 17
completions.
Okay, so 3 of those yards is not
170 bad. Basically. Yeah.
OBJ was out there.
And that's
OBJ was out there 93% of the time of snaps.
Right.
So OBJ being out there 93% of the snaps and getting 2 catches, and Bateman being out there 38% and getting 3 catches. I mean, eventually those tides are going to turn, right? Like OBJ is going to be put off the bench.
Yeah. That should go the other way.
Has OBJ's career just Is there anybody that's more hyped than this dude? Makes one catch on like Monday Night Football. He was nasty. The back half of his rookie year, but dude makes
How many
one catch.
how many times they showed that
After
last night in that one clip? They showed it like
it's just
10 times. And it was like, I don't even think it was that important of a catch when it was happened, right? Like it wasn't like a regular
I
season
wasn't-
game. I don't know.
it
I
was
wasn't
sick,
watching that game.
but
It was sick, but
Was
I
it-
don't think it was that
was it-
important.
Was it Chris Collinsworth that was calling it? Because he loves that. That's all he can talk about is that catch.
And it was 10
Yeah, I
years
don't know.
ago. So
It's just got to stop. The hype around that dude has always been overblown, and it's just got to stop. It's got to stop.
agreed.
I had enough.
Agreed. Baltimore paid him though, so you got to give him that.
Yeah,
He's still
yeah.
fooling people. All right, I should have brought him up when we were talking about Danny Dimes, but Waller, you guys worried about Waller at all, or does that go more towards Dallas's D is just that good?
He played. He played her. I don't. The Giants' offense. I mean, you can write them all off if you want because they look that bad. But I think Waller played when he shouldn't have played, just to kind of give the threat of playing. But nothing matters. They got fucking mollywops. So
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't think I'm overly concerned with that. Mike, are you? No. So we
No,
shouldn't
no,
have had
I
him
think
on there.
Waller, you
Good.
should be fine with.
I think so too. I think the fact that he had 5 targets, 3 catches for 36 yards in that trash of a game.
Yeah.
Not too bad. And
He's-
he's looking at
He's
his
definitely
watch.
20
He's getting
minutes.
He's getting a
20
little
minutes,
nervous right
boys.
now. You can see the nerves. I need a big game for Josh Allen tonight, man.
Oh, don't worry. He's gonna throw for 4,000 yards. So no big deal.
All right.
Andy.
He's gonna actually
this
throw
is-
a ball directly through Sauce Gardner's body. He's gonna knock a pothole right out of him. It's gonna be incredible to
Wow.
watch.
Wow.
He's going to be number 0 instead of number 1 for a little while there. Andy, I just need Garrett Wilson to get over 20 points.
No.
Listen,
I don't
and
wanna listen.
also-
No, I don't want to.
over 20 points and also under 15 points in
Yeah,
the
that-
same scoring format.
Sounds
So,
possible.
if that could
You never
happen,
know.
I
You
think
never, you
you're
never
a
know,
shoo-in.
Mike.
Good news is
It-
you're probably gonna win one of those.
In multiverses, that might be happening,
but he's going to score 17 and a half because that's the exact thing I don't need to happen.
All right. Last guy I want to talk about when it comes to panic button, Damian Pierce. This is another game I did not watch any of. I don't know if you guys did, but he had 48% of the snaps, 11 rushes for 38 yards, and 2 catches for 9 yards. The 48% of snaps, that is very concerning. How much did Singletary have? Do we know that at all?
I'm sure
And
Mike
it
can find
wasn't-
it in the
Yeah, Andy.
No,
why
No,
don't
it
you-
was actually
Okay.
it was actually Mike Boone.
Oh, it's Boone. Okay.
Yeah. Mike Boone had a 31% snap percentage.
A Mike Boone sighting, huh? That's random.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't watch the
Wow.
game, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was definitely Mike Boone that was spelling, or not even spelling, sharing the backfield with Damian Pierce, which was very odd.
It's a little worrisome
Yeah,
because
that game was
go ahead.
it was close. Yeah, it was that game was actually like close for almost the first half, I think. So it's not like garbage time, try to get players in and see what they could do. Or maybe it was at the back half, but I don't know, Damian. Those are ugly numbers. But I don't think anybody thinks he's crazy talented, right? We all just were buying his workload, and if his workload's not going to be great, then it might be time to move on.
It was a
Try to get him
workload thing with him
some
for
value.
sure.
Yeah,
Definitely a workload thing.
But another wait and see. Like, don't press the panic button. We'll see if that's just one game or if that becomes a trend.
Agreed. Yeah. I wouldn't do much. If anything, that might be another trade target. There might be people worried about that. So, but I agree that T. Higgins would be my number 1 trade target. Putting
Yeah,
up a
people
big
that had
goose
bad
egg.
weeks.
There's gonna be some people pissed off about that. And
What about Lamar?
what about Lamar? We want to talk about Lamar?
Well, I mean, he had 7 points for a Russian quarterback. I mean, obviously that's not what you want out of him, but is that strictly because there was no Mark Andrews?
I think that's a big part of it. Mark Andrews, it might be like the way, Mahomes didn't struggle that much, but he struggled without Kelsey. And I think Mark Andrews is Lamar's binky, as the same way Kelsey is with Mahomes. So yeah, I think that's got a big part to do with it.
So you're going, if you could, you're going to trade for Lamar Jackson in a league
Yeah,
that you need a quarterback,
in the league.
obviously.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And I would keep an eye on Mark Andrews. Keep an eye on him. Make sure his health is good. But all right, let's jump into our waiver ads of the week here. So I have a lot of names here. I got 17 guys I want to touch on quick, and anything I miss, I want you guys to jump in with guys that you want to talk about, because all the waiver ads I want to talk about are under 50% or under owned in all the leagues according to Fantasy Pros. And I think we're going to talk about these as far as Fab goes. $100, right? $100 waiver budget. That's the way
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about it. I heard the other day on a podcast actually that they do $1,000, a $1,000 waiver budget. You guys still with me? I thought it got a little choppy there. I think we good.
I heard the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so they have $1,000 Fab, and the reason for that is so that there's just never a tie when it comes to putting the money in on players. And I think that's a good idea. So I might be thinking about doing that.
Yeah, it's not bad
in the future. All right, so let's jump into it. The quarterbacks. So Jordan Love, he's owned in 22% of leagues. How much money are you guys going to spend on Jordan Love? And how high of a priority is he for you? Go ahead, Andy.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but quarterback, once again, not that high of a priority for me. Generally, I always draft two in that Tua area, so I don't really care. But if I was gonna go after Jordan Love, I don't know. It's a quarterback. I'm not spending more than $4, $5. It's
Okay.
you got Purdy out there in most leagues. You got other quarterback options, and you probably already have two on your roster. $4 or $5 max.
Yeah. Mike, you in that range?
Doug, where'd you get 22% from? Because Yahoo says 31% owned.
From
Fantasy
Fantasy
Pros.
Pros. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
so
right,
you're
all right.
only
I'm
looking at
going.
one. Yeah, you're only
Yes,
looking at
yeah.
Yahoo. Fantasy Pros, I think, does Yahoo, ESPN, Sleeper.
Okay.
They put them all into one.
I'm right around that same range as Andy. I put $5 is what I'd spend, and that's if I'm somebody that is looking to stream quarterbacks. Like if I'm looking for somebody that to fill a bye week 5, 6, 7, I'm not spending Fab on a quarterback right now to fill a bench spot. But if you're somebody that streamed a quarterback and you went into your draft with the plan of streaming a quarterback, then yeah, I think Jordan Love's the guy to pick up this week, and I'm spending like $4 or $5 right around the same range as Andy.
Okay, yeah, I'm with that. I'm in the 5 to 8 range, depending on how desperate you are. And then there's Derek Carr. He's owned in 38%, and then there's Mac Jones, who's owned in 8%. Derek Carr, you guys like him as a? No, not so much.
I like his weapons, but I don't necessarily love the offense they run. Yeah, same thing, man. A couple bucks, $3. I don't know.
All right, let's not waste any more time on quarterbacks, because that is kind of we're talking, one quarterback league. That's what we're going by here. So if it was super flex,
real quick, different. I just want to. I know Brock Purdy's 56% owned on Yahoo, but if you're in a league where he's available, that should be
he's the pickup.
He's the pickup. 100%. Just because his offense is so solid that he's going to be consistent.
Yeah, and he looked better than I think a lot of people thought. Anyways, I thought he looked pretty good. Second half, he didn't have to do much, so his numbers I think could have been a lot better, actually. Even. All right, for running backs. Kenneth Gainwell owned in 46%. We talked a lot about him, but I want to know how much you guys are going to actually fork out to get him. Mike, how much are you going to go for your boy Gainwell?
Well, I mean, again, it's all dependent situation, but I'm going to go the highest of the high. So if you're desperate, if you're the J.K. Dobbins owner, and maybe you have Rashard White and you just need a running back right now, then I'm spending on Kenneth Gainwell. I'd go maybe 35 to 40%. Because to have the potential running back for a high powered offense, yeah, I'm taking that chance. I mean, if you don't use your fab, you lose it, at the end of the year. So, you have a potential guy that can win you a league, then go try to get him.
I'm yeah, I agree with Mike's like week one, these are the guys you spend money on. Like spend a good amount of your fab in the first few weeks because these are the guys that are gonna hit for you for the majority of the year. But I'm not I told you guys already, I kind of feel like that's gonna be a committee and even if Gainwell holds it, I don't know how much of the share he really gets. So if I'm going after Gainwell, if I'm a running back needy team, I'm probably going out. I'm probably not spending more than that 12 to 15 range.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm a little more with Mike. I think you're probably not getting him at 12 to 15. And you're
Mhm.
probably okay with that, Andy, because
Yeah,
like
no.
you said, you don't think he's gonna be that guy. I'm in like the 40 to 50 range if you're desperate. If you're desperate, J.K. Dobbins went down. Like Mike said, he didn't impress me a ton yesterday, but if he just keeps that job, he's gonna get the workload, and he's on a really good team, really good offensive team. So
It's a big
I'm
F for
spending a little.
$40, in
It
my
is.
opinion.
It is, but I don't know. We'll see. Kyron Williams. He's only owned in 5% of leagues. And
Mhm.
we touched on that a little bit with Akers before. You guys buying into him? Andy?
Yep. So I got him on here. He definitely looks like we said, not didn't anticipate him getting this much run in week one, and I don't really see a reason for that to slow down. So if you want to go out and get him, I just don't think he'll ever be a true one, right? So if you're running back needy and you need a guy, once again, I'm probably going maybe same range, slightly less than I would for Gainwell, but that 10 to 13, 10 to depending on how needy you are, but I'm not buying too high on him either.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm the same way. For Williams, even if he wins this role, you're in a timeshare on the Rams offense. They look good yesterday, so let's give them credit, but I don't think they're scoring 30 every game. And if you're splitting carries, Cam Akers and Williams, I'm not spending too much on them. I'm probably in the 10 to 15 range.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Because I don't think he's ever gonna be that, 3 down back there. I think he'll probably be a third down back is what he'll end up being, and I don't want to spend too much of my fab on that. A good bye week replacement kind of thing.
Yeah. If
And
he got 10 targets, I'd be spending on him. If that number
Yeah,
was right,
with his
I'd be
10
spending
targets
on him.
on, yeah,
Yeah.
when
on
you
that
said
too.
10 targets, I was like, shit, maybe he should have been our first on our waiver.
True.
Well,
I
you
went
know what
straight to my
happened?
phone, like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what happened is I was trying to talk and look it up at the same time. And I looked at his career number and I was trying to play it off like I know this. And I was like, yeah, I think I had like 10 targets. And then I was like, fuck, that's career. So
Mike tried to talk and use his brain at the same time. A
yeah, that
problem
doesn't
for
work.
him.
It's hard. That's a hard thing to do, man. It's not easy.
Yeah.
All right, next guy. Well, we're gonna lump these two guys together: Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. Gus Edwards is owned in 20% of leagues. Justice Hill is 3%. We talked about J.K. Dobbins going down. Those are the next two guys up. Are you and Andy? Whenever you want to bail, man. I know you got to bail for that
I'm
for
I'm
that
gonna
game.
start I'm gonna start firing out information when it gets close. But yeah, Ravens backfield. I think Gus Edwards is the guy. I know that Justice Hill got the 2 touchdowns, but he's on that Karen Williams fucking yards per carry. He got 8 carries, 9 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gus has been a very steady backup, and when he gets I shout out to Joe. He's not on this episode, but Joe has said this before. He's always been steady. He's always been solid, and I think he's the better pickup. So I'm going for Gus. And Gus, I'm going to spend once again. This is high end for a running back needy team, but I'm going to spend around $20 on Gus.
All right,
Justice less. Justice probably like the 8 to 10 range.
Yeah. Joe only listened to the things he
If Joe only
says, he'd
listened to
have Gus
Joe.
Edwards on his team.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Joe listened to himself, he'd already have Gus on his team because he was the top 5 potential or the number 1 potential backup
Yeah.
handcuff in the league. That Gus Edwards was his pick, and he doesn't have him on his team. But I think I'm less than you are, Andy. I don't think that this is going to be anybody's role. It's Gus and Justice together on an offense that has Lamar taking some of the touchdowns away also. And I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in like a Fournette or a Kareem Hunt, or,
That's
they
what I
love
was
bringing
gonna
in the
say.
veterans.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up because I think Kareem was already. I think they already offered him something, didn't they?
They
And
did, yeah.
so that seems like a no-brainer to me that Kareem will probably end up being there and then messing everything up for everybody, probably. So
Yeah, so I'm probably definitely less than 10 on Justice Hill. Maybe right around the $10 range for Gus Edwards.
okay, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Another guy I want to talk about, Joshua Kelly, the backup to Eckler. He's only owned in 4% of leagues. And the guy who owns Eckler should probably go pick him up in every single league just to make sure that he's got that stud handcuff. You guys spending a lot on him, or you think that's a one-hit wonder? Mike, go ahead.
No, I exactly what you said. If I'm the Eckler owner, I'm spending up to get him. Did Eckler get hurt and then come back in? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
But he's fine, right? Like not on the injury report.
Yeah, he's
He's
good.
good.
Okay. But Josh Kelly looked good in his time there. So if you're the Eckler owner and you didn't handcuff, you have to do it. I'm probably spending 20-25 to get that.
I'm
If you're the Eckler owner, you're spending 20-25, you're saying?
Yeah, only if I'm the Eckler owner. If I'm not, then I'll put in a bid for like $10, but I'm probably not going to get him at that price.
Okay, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, no. So this is Mike. You just brought it up, but somebody asked us somewhere like who's an elite handcuff that could get into the top 5, and we did not bring up Joshua Kelly because we've seen him run before, and he was mad. He looked really good yesterday, and Eckler's undersized. I know he's built like a brick, but he's undersized, and he's just been his workload has been crazy for. This is going to be, I think, the 4th straight year. His workload's insane. So I was watching that game, and that was the first thing that came to mind. I think Joshua Kelly is probably my number 2 waiver pickup for the week, and I'm spending that game all money on him because if Eckler goes down, that dude is gonna win you leagues. And Eckler was claiming he didn't want as much playing time. He wanted to lighten his load a little bit. I think Joshua Kelly has kind of earned a little bit of a role here, so he's number 2 for me.
Okay, I like it. Let's talk about Jalen Warren. He's actually only owned in 48% of leagues. I was surprised to see that. Joe's boy there. I think he is kind of a no-brainer and might even be the number 1 waiver wire pickup if that's the case.
Yeah.
When it comes to running backs.
I have him rostered. So
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, he's just rostered. I'm not. So he's not a waiver pickup for me. But yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was surprised to see that number because I have him rostered as well in a league or 2.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not putting in any waiver wire pickup for Jalen Warren because me and Andy are in all the same leagues and I don't have the opportunity to get it. But if he was a waiver, which that's funny, that's 46%. I feel like he was being drafted in every every actual draft I did.
I thought so
he was
too.
being drafted. So if he's not, then yeah, he has to be up there with
then he might be the number 1.
Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Or
Gainwell.
Yeah. Yep.
More talented.
And another name to bring up quick, if he's available, again, owned in a lot of leagues, but take a quick peek. Tyler Algier, if he's there, he's number 1. He's your top priority.
Yeah, he showed or they showed that he still has a big workload there, even with Bijan there. All right, let's talk about the wide receivers quick.
Hold on. So we got kickoff coming, so I'm just gonna fire this out. But Puka was my number 1 pickup for the week.
Okay.
I think that he fills that cup role better than it. Oh, here we go. Game time. Better than anticipated, and it's definitely his for the next 3 weeks. And you know how I feel about hamstrings. So I'm spending probably about $30 35.
Wow.
And I'm hoping that, well, I'm not hoping because I don't hope any of the players actually get hurt, but I'm hoping that Cooper Cup's a little slow to come back and I can get a solid 6, 7 weeks out of this kid. That
Okay.
said, boys,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. The demigod is taking the field, so I'm out of here.
Our pleasure.
See ya.
All right. Enjoy. Good luck.
Who was playing again?
What'd you say?
I didn't know Tua was playing again tonight. He said the demigod. That
He
has to
did
be
say
Tua, right?
demigod. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. All right, let's keep this rolling. So where do you have Puka?
I don't have any receiver at 30, 35 because I mean Andy said it. He's filling this role for a couple weeks, right? Like he's being deemed right now Cup Junior, but as soon as Cup Senior comes back,
As soon as Daddy comes home.
Yeah, exactly. His role's gonna diminish. So Puka still is my number one ad right now, just because he's gonna give you 3-4 weeks of solid play. But I'm spending 15 to 20 on him.
Yeah, I'm in that range too. I'm in the 20 range because the Tutu Atwell, he had a decent game too, didn't he? And then
Yeah, they both had 119 yards, I think.
and if Cam Akers starts averaging over 2 yards a carry, maybe they'll use him more. You never know. So another guy that again I was surprised to see is Jacoby Myers. They have him only at 50% owned. Now we talked about his injury.
You say 50?
Yeah, 50 even.
No,
I was surprised to see that.
That's gotta be wrong, Doug.
You think so?
Nope. I gotta be wrong, Doug. It's exactly 50%.
Yeah. Okay. Don't question me again on there.
I'm so sorry. No, if Jacoby's available, I mean, he's gonna be out, right? This coming week. I mean,
I think
I don't know
he's
if
going
you
to be
saw
out a week or two, I think, right? I mean, that hit was brutal.
It was scary.
Yeah.
You hate to see stuff like that when somebody takes a shot to the head and they can't move their body and they're just sitting there flat like that. And like it's scary to see, but it definitely means that the NFL is going to be more cautious in him passing protocol. So he's potentially out 2 weeks, but most likely out this coming week. So to spend a lot of money on him is going to be tough, but he was Jimmy G's favorite target. Like,
so I was going to say that
he looked
yeah,
good.
I think even if he's just out those 2 weeks, I think I'm spending money. What's your number?
Mine's 15.
That's it. Okay, so you're probably not getting him then if he's available.
No, yeah, probably not.
I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. He was the target getter. I'm upwards of 40. I want to get a guy like that. I mean, I have him on at least 1 or 2 teams. But
yeah, we have him in our team together, and that's what I was gonna say is, I think in every league that I'm in, he
was
is
drafted.
rostered.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, so my thought process is if he's not rostered, it's most likely a 10-team league, and those teams are a lot more stacked. So Jacoby Myers might not be playing as much in the flex position on those type of teams.
Yeah, he might not make that cut. But if he continues with the production, he's not going to get 2 touchdowns every week. But if he continues with good production, then maybe he cracks it. All right. Zay Jones owned in 30% of leagues. What do you think of Zay Jones? He had a touchdown yesterday. Calvin Ridley's obviously the guy there. Christian Kirk had a down week. I think he's probably another guy that people are panicking on possibly a little bit. But where are you at on Zay Jones?
Yeah, I think he had the most snaps out of any receiver on that team, which is, I mean, he was supposed to be the wide receiver 3, and I think he still kind of is. It's just a down week for Christian Kirk.
And they're probably easing Calvin into it.
Yeah, to have the most snaps week 1 on a Trevor Lawrence led team, that's something. I don't think I'm buying him. I'm letting somebody else waste their waiver on him. Maybe I'll put a small bid in, but I'm not enough to get him.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on if you have a deep, big bench or something like that on it's a deeper league. I'd probably put in like $5, maybe something like that on him. But
yeah,
I agree with you because he's going to end up being the third option there, and that's just not going to work out. Romeo Dobbs, he's owned in 31% of leagues. I don't know. Christian Watson, I guess he was jogging, so he might be back next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
You putting anything in on Romeo Dobbs?
Yeah, I mean, Romeo Dobbs was on a snap count this week, and he still had 2 touchdowns. So even with Christian Watson coming back, Romeo Dobbs is going to have a big role on this team as far as being on the field and targets. So that's his one too. Jordan Love. If you think Jordan Love is going to have a good year, then Watson and Dobbs are going to be the beneficiaries of that. Then yeah, you're putting money in. I would say same with Puka. I would right around that range of $20, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's probably is near there. I know a lot of insiders in Green Bay were saying that Dobbs was probably going to be the target getter and have the most catches in Green Bay. Because we know that Christian Watson is more of a boom bust guy. So last guy I want to talk about for wide receivers, Kendrick Bourne. The best guy on this list, I want to say. No, but he had 2 touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah.
He was Mac's number 1 target. How much you spending on Kendrick?
Not much.
Okay.
Sorry, Doug. I think they were negative game script from the beginning, and kind of they weren't forced to pass because they still did run the ball a lot. But Mac passed the ball more than I think he's going to in a standard game, and Devontae Parker was out this game. So when he comes back, I think that role is split. Obviously, Kendrick Bourne is going to get 2 touchdowns every game. But if you're in dire need of a receiver and you need somebody to just fill a flex spot for, a week here and there, then yeah, put in like $5-10.
Yeah, I'm at like 10-15 maybe. I need to see more out of it, but he very well could be the most talented receiver they have and Mac's favorite target. So
yeah, and Juju, was he not on the field? Like they played
he was. He just
Douglas
wasn't
over
really
him, right?
He wasn't doing too much. He was out there. He just didn't really do anything. So
Okay.
yeah, Demario Douglas, he looked good, man. I think that kid could actually be something. He's a little speedster. All right, tight ends. Do you have any other wide receivers you want to talk about? Bless you.
I coughed, but no, that's it. That's all I had.
All right, tight ends. Luke Musgrave. He is owned in 19% of leagues. He looked like he was one of Jordan Love's favorite targets yesterday. So, how much you spending on him?
Not much.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't. Again, I don't like rookie tight ends. I think he was more involved because Watson was out, and because Dobbs was on a snap count. Once they're both to full health, I don't think Jordan Love is going to look his way as much as he did this week. So, if you desperately need a tight end, then yeah, he has a couple good weeks in him, but maybe like $3-4 if that's it.
Yeah, I'm in like the 5-10 range. Just he is talented. He was being talked up by a lot of the insiders as well. So it is depending on if Christian Watson's out a lot because of his hamstring, then I think he'll get more touches that way for sure. Hunter Henry, 16%. How much you spending on him?
He looked good. I'm not gonna lie. I know you talked him up, and he had potential catch of the year already with that one-handed snag. And Mac Jones was looking his way. But again, I think Mac Jones did more than I just said the same stuff with Kendrick Bourne, but once Devonta Parker comes back, so I'm in the same area as Musgrave than I am with Henry, probably even less.
Oh, really? Okay. I might be a little bit more because I think he's going to be a touchdown target for Mac. I think he's going to be the guy he looks for first when it comes to that red zone area. So yeah, I like Hunter Henry. Are you watching the game right now too, Mike? The Buffalo game?
I'm not.
No? All right.
Not yet. No.
Let's do one more guy, and then we want to talk about listeners' team real quick. But let's do one more guy, Hayden Hurst. He's only owned in 11% of leagues. Where are you at with Hayden Hurst?
I think Hayden was the beneficiary again of Bryce Young's first game. So as Bryce Young gets more comfortable, he's going to throw the ball downfield. But he's also DJ Shark was out. so that led to more targets. So I think he is touchdown dependent, but he has really good hands. And if they're near the end zone, he is going to be one of Bryce Young's favorite targets. So I'm higher on him than I am the other two. I would say maybe more $10 on Hayden Hurst.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the same kind of range as the other two guys. So it's really pick your poison. Who do you like more out of those three? But I agree with everything you said. We do know that for rookie quarterbacks, they like to dump it down to the tight end a lot, and that might go throughout the season. So we shall see.
Real quick, I don't know how much percentage he's owned, but if Sam Laporta is on your waiver wire, I think he tops my list of tight end ads.
Yeah, I didn't see him in the under 50 range, so he's over 50.
I'll look it up.
Go ahead. But I would completely agree with that it looked like Goff really liked going to him a lot. He looked like what a lot of people are hoping Kincaid looks like tonight. And
okay, he's 65, so he's not even most leagues he's already rostered.
Okay. All right, Mike, I know you want to talk about the listener that sent in his fantasy team and why don't you go ahead and explain that?
Well, I just thought it was an interesting scenario. I mean, we're talking about injuries and trades and waivers and stuff. And this guy brought me a kind of perfect scenario to put it all together, you know? So it's Drew Dawson _2 was the person that sent it in to me, but he has a league that if you come in last place, you have to draft the next year from a dog cage. And his only
hilarious.
thing,
I actually
he said,
it.
listen, he said, I don't care if I win this league. I just don't want to come in last place. Help me not come in last place. So he sent me his roster, and he had Joe Burrow,
and he had a last place roster that he sent us. Go ahead.
J.K. Dobbins, T. Higgins, Travis Kelce, Christian Kirk. Like this guy, the list just doesn't stop. OBJ, Juju Smith-Schuster. He needs help. I think was DJ Moore on this too? Probably. DJ Moore was on this team. Like this team is bad.
Yeah.
So, the guy needs help.
Christian Kirk, and we talked about him. He didn't have Juju Smith-Schuster, who we talked about him. He didn't really play last night either.
His only upside was, I mean, he has Garrett Wilson tonight, so there's still hope of him breaking out. He has Dallas D and Tyler Higbee, who is going to have a consistent, he has Travis Kelce coming back also, which obviously helps. But so I wanted to give this guy a few pointers that we would suggest to do. So what's the first thing you're doing, Doug?
First thing I'm doing is I'm going after one of those waiver wire running backs.
Yep.
Looking right now, Dobbins gone. He's got Najee Harris. I mean, that's tough, man. Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I'm probably going pretty strong at Kenneth Gainwell, just so I can get a running back in before Dalvin Cook maybe gets his legs under him.
So it's not Fab, and he's got fifth priority on waivers. So he's probably not getting Gainwell.
Okay, so I'm going to put in for as many guys as I can then.
Exactly.
And hope that one of them falls to me.
Yep. So he's at least getting the fifth best. So to me, you're putting in for Gainwell, Josh Kelly.
Yes.
Puka.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. We're assuming that Jalen Warren's probably rostered and that Jacoby Myers is probably rostered.
Karen Williams.
Yes. Yep.
And probably Gus Edwards, right? Other five?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's the highest upside guys that you can get from that. The more I look at his team, I don't hate it because I think that's the worst week that he can have. You know, I think week 1 was probably as bad as he can get for his team. So I would say sit on it for the most part. Yeah. Because you're a trade machine.
Point is don't panic yet.
No, don't panic yet because Burrow's going to get better. Harris, he'll be okay.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson, I like. Kelsey, when he gets healthy, he's going to be good. T. Higgins is not going to be as bad as he was. We talked about that. I don't actually hate his team. I think it is going to get better. Would you make a trade right now?
What I would suggest, I would, yeah. Just because you have Travis Kelsey and you were fortunate enough to draft Tyler Higbee as the backup. So for me, I'm looking at the rosters. I'm seeing who has a tight end that just shit the bed in week 1. Maybe somebody that either got hurt or just didn't perform. And I'm packaging like a Najee Harris and a Tyler Higbee and getting an upgrade at running back. Or I'm packaging
No, you're not.
Tyler
You're not
Higbee.
packaging Tyler Higbee because you need a tight end still, right? I thought you were going to
No,
trade
I think
Kelsey.
no, I'm not trading Kelsey.
Oh, you're not trading
No,
Kelsey. Oh, okay.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no. I'm keeping Kelsey. I'm getting rid of Higbee.
Okay.
But I'm taking Higbee with another player. I mean, unfortunately, you can't trade DJ Moore right now. It's just not even worth it. But maybe a Dalvin Cook or somebody like that, and package him with Higbee and get an upgrade in one position, because you're taking a guy that's going to ride the bench for you once Kelsey comes back and improving a starting position.
Okay. I don't hate it. I mean, you love your trades. I think I would actually probably try to trade Kelsey and get a couple of good starters back. I think that's where I would go because you have Higbee as a decent tight end to roll with. I don't know any names.
Yeah, Kelsey.
I mean, maybe go for these guys like a Damian Pierce, who people are scared about, or a Cam Akers that people are scared about, and then get another, like, you can't be a Kelsey for one of them, but get another piece in that package.
No, if I'm trading Kelsey, I'm just doing it I want studs on my team. And it's not like Kelsey had a serious injury. It was just 1 week, and it's not something he's going to re-injure. So his name is still going to have value to it. So if I'm trading Kelsey, I'm going out and I'm getting like maybe a Calvin Ridley and then somebody else, like somebody that was drafted later, but is going to have high upside potential.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of moves he can make, but for the most part, I think we both agree that sit on it for the most part, because your team is not as bad as it looks, and go try to get one of these waiver wire guys. Let it go another week. If you have another poor week, then maybe try to use one of those trade options that we mentioned and go out there and make some moves.
Just don't panic is the number one.
Don't panic after
and for
week
all
1.
those, if this isn't a keeper league, which even if it is, you can probably just drop them anyway. But every single one of those waiver pickups that we mentioned, do them all for J.K. Dobbins. Like, just, you only want one of them. You don't want to, unless you have other people you're going to drop. But I don't see another person.
Only use Dobbins as your name, 100%, because you only want one of those guys. You don't need more than that. I completely agree with you on that. All right. I think
let's go watch some football, dog.
Let's go watch some football. Let's go enjoy the Monday night game. And hopefully Andy's enjoying it. I don't know if there's a score yet, but all right. So for Mike, Andy, I'm Doug, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.
Later, guys.